Hey everybody, this is Andy Sports and Songs. How are you doing? Dan is on assignment, as we say in the business. So today it's Andy. Today, not your normal typical album review because I don't want to. So we usually stick 70s, 80s, 90s hair bands, stuff like that. (1978) release, Steve Martin. Billboard chart and that year release double platinum he got up to. It was on Warner Brothers, was the label. 39 minutes, 28 seconds long. Comedy albums. Second of his career is peaking because of Saturday Night Live. This really helped. It contains an outlet that on stage. Actually, the Uncommons, Toot Uncommons, they were called, was actually the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. They did that backup for him, and he did it on Saturday Night Live. And so he was Saturday Night Live character album, but this is before it is now, where Lorne Michaels had his say on everything, had his hands on everything. He was really able to kind of do his own thing here, be Steve Martin. He had the bit with Dan Aykroyd, the Czech Brothers. He does do some of that on this album, but it's not all Saturday Night Live bits. It's Steve Martin comedy. It's songs. It was actually recorded at two places. One was at a comedy club in San Francisco. He did. And then his transition over to the Red Rock Amphitheater afterwards. He had his little dialogue in between the two, where it goes from side one to side two. That's where it kind of flips studios or flips locations. And comedy albums were that way. They were really kind of neat. Like a live album, they weren't all recorded in one spot. Most of them were. It was in one setting, live from Radio City Music Hall, live from the Apollo, live from Carnegie Hall, whatever. This one he had two different locations, which is fine. It didn't take away from the album. But I liked comedy albums because this is 78. I was really getting into them because they were kind of popular. Older brother had it, so of course I got them from there. But you had comedy albums all the time. You had Steve Martin, you had George Carlin, you had Richard Pryor. I don't care what he did later in his life. You had Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, very good comedy albums back in the day. Might do more of those later on. But, his Steve Martin's King Tut, his songs like that. He did play his own banjo. He was a banjo player. Was that the start of a Weird Al Yankovic with parody songs, comedians doing songs? Maybe. That's where I got it from, But Steve Martin was just a different comedy. It was different than Richard Pryor, meaning the language, the foul language. Carlin had some every now and then. His wasn't as over the top as Pryor or an Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy, probably the last good comedy album, Eddie Murphy's Raw, where they kind of were over the top on the language. That was kind of the part of the shtick, though. Steve Martin was just goofy stuff. This album, the King Tut stuff, the movie The Jerk, that was really kind of Steve Martin's, peak of his career, which was great. He's still very funny now. His other stuff has always been good. Don't get me wrong. Roxanne, Father of the Bride. He's got the TV show on, was it Hulu or Netflix, one of those with Martin Short. So he's still active. He's still out there. He's still doing very well. Very funny. Occasionally, I think he's still Saturday Night Live every blue moon, like the 50th anniversary, the 45th anniversary. He'll show up on there. And it's not for a money grab. He's doing it because respect, and he's just a nice guy. He's a wild and crazy guy, according to this album. And like I said, they do that bit. He does part of his bit of that character from Saturday Night Live on here a little bit. again, which is fine. Comedy albums are that way. You just have to appreciate them. It's 40 minutes. You sit back, you relax, you have some laughs. Have it on as you're playing cards with your buddies or playing solitaire by yourself. It's something to listen to. But this was really it's only his second album, but you can say the peak of his career. This was his best work. This was Steve Martin's best stuff. Reached number 2. And his later albums actually reached, they did in 2000s, reached the bluegrass charts because of the banjo playing and the music on there. So very talented man, Mr. Stephen Martin. But yeah, give it a listen. Steve Martin, Wild and Crazy Guy. That's the album review this week. A little different. Tell us what you think if you like comedy albums, stuff like that. Carlin, Pryor, Cosby, Murphy. Sorry, another one we missed. Someone else you want to hear us do a comedy album review every now and then, something different. Let us know. Please like, share, subscribe. On YouTube, there's a little bell thing. Hit that. You'll get notified every time there's a new episode. Again, thanks a lot. We'll see you.